Oh, okay. Let's take a pause. Hold on. I actually said let's take a pause. Obviously, we need to cut it beforehand.
I can start it again.
Also, we didn't create a natural place to do.
I'll figure it out.
Okay.
There'll probably be a place.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Right. So, broadcast number six.
We're at number 6.
Very excited. This
Yes.
is sounds like we're getting into a season
Yes.
of broadcast. I'm Santiago,
I'm Joveth.
right? And we're here to talk about and geek out about stationery, pens, pencils, travel,
Everything.
everything. Cool.
Yeah.
So, according to the schedule of today's episode, we're supposed to do banter.
Mandatory banter.
Mandatory banter.
Yes.
Okay. So how was your week?
It was good. This was a good week. I caught up on some TV shows I've been meaning to watch.
Okay.
The Scrubs reboot, finally. That was
That's
pretty
not
good.
Canadian. This Scrubs reboot.
Reboot.
Okay.
It's not Canadian though.
Okay.
But yeah. It was good. It was a good show. And I've been swatching some inks. I'm always swatching. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Sounds like you're some sort of ink apothecarian. Or
A
something.
little bit. Just
Okay.
a little bit.
Cool.
What about
Nice.
you?
So we did a ribbon cutting
We sure did.
last Friday. That was a lot of fun. We had some little trinkets to give people, which was also a lot of fun as well. So I don't know, a lot of like well wishers, like pretty much everywhere. So that was a lot of fun. You were there.
I was there.
You're in the picture too, which is fantastic. So we had that. What else? Receiving lots of new product for the store. We'll talk a little bit about new stuff in a bit. And I think that's it. TV show wise, I started watching The Crown again
Okay.
because I'm very pro monarchy, and I kind of enjoy. I enjoyed the first season, and then I started to kind of drift away. So that I started, but I don't think I want to watch any more of The Crown.
Gotcha.
What are you using today?
I am using a Franklin Christoph Model 2, and it's got a special grind. I don't remember what the grind is off the top of my head, but it writes like almost like a cursive, italic. That might be it actually. And I like it because it's pretty heavy. It's got like a brass, what is it called? The grip right here. It
Yeah.
adds substantial weight to it, and it's filled up with Birmingham's, I think it's oil slick or something like that. Oil rag. So
Nice.
that's my pen. What about yours?
Mine is a Kaweco AL Sport green. I don't know how to do this. There it is. I got it from Appleboom in the Netherlands. I haven't visited in person. I just ordered online. But next time I'm in the Netherlands, I'll definitely visit them. I'll try to bike to their shop.
Yes,
You can bike
have
everywhere
to.
there.
You have to.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's a I think it's a broad nib or medium nib, broad. Yeah, and I filled it with a cilantro green ink from Amarillo Stationery.
Yeah.
So there you go. So it's green on green. That was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
a good pairing.
Awesome. All right. So we're doing Kid of the Week.
We're doing Kid of the Week.
Yeah, and last time we talked about an innovation.
Yes.
In the show.
Something new.
Yeah, we want to bring guests, and our first guest this time around is my good friend Kamila. Kamila is a product manager at Google, but I know her since before. We used to work together at the startup that I was working before, and she was here to chat with me about like how do you move from like working in technology into more into a tactile kind of thing. And after that, we decided to do a Kid of the Week. So she's gonna show some of her items. I bet her not to talk too much about items she's purchased from the Outpost, but she didn't follow through. She did bring up a few Outpost items, but that's fine. She does enjoy using those a lot. So yeah, let's just check Camila's comments.
All right, let's check it out.
So we're here. We have a guest at the store, which is very, very fun. And we thought about doing something different, which is bringing guests to talk about their Kid of the Week. So I'm here with Kamila. And Kamila, would you like to introduce yourself and what do you do? And also a little bit about your stationery or analog tool story?
Of course. So I'm Kamila. By day, I'm a product manager in big tech. Santiago and I actually go way back to his AppSheet days. And by night, I have started writing. I'm actually working on a profile on Santiago and his journey to become a brick and mortar stationery.
Yeah.
My stationery story, I feel like it's probably pretty common with most people, where I was growing up and papers and pens were always really fancy and really fascinating.
Yeah.
And growing up in early 2000 Poland, there wasn't that much of nice stuff to go around. So I also remember there was this hobby back then where you exchange these little cards of paper with different characters printed on them.
Okay.
And you collected them in binders. And so you would go to daycare, or you'd go even in elementary school, and you would bring a stack of papers that you got from somebody, and then you would trade them in the hallways. They were also gridded, like they were like notebook papers. So presumably you were supposed to be writing on them, but they were so high value that nobody
You were just exchanging them.
Yeah, you
Okay.
would never
Secondary
throw them.
market of printed stuff.
Yes.
Awesome.
And so this preciousness, I think, of not writing on fancy stuff has carried into adulthood, where when I get a notebook, it has to be something that's worthy of writing in it.
Yeah, we have to fix that. We get that a lot in the store. People saying I have too many notebooks, but I never write on them. And like there's a few strategies to not
Yes.
get into the preciousness of a notebook. But we're here to talk about Kid of the Week.
Yes.
We wanted you to share some of your Kid of the Week for this week. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, so I have actually pared down my Kid of the Week, because my trick to avoiding the new notebook block is to get a fancier notebook. So then you write in the one that was previously the fanciest. And so
Okay.
you have this escalating strata of
You have a-
progressively fancier notebooks.
You have a pecking order of notebooks.
Yes. And you can write in whatever one isn't the fanciest one.
Well done. That's a good trick.
A lot of the stuff in my kit is actually inspired by Santiago's store. So starting from my daily drivers, these are the, how do you pronounce it?
Leuchtturm.
Leuchtturm.
Well, I think it's Leuchtturm, but to be honest, I don't know. I think it's Leuchtturm.
Okay, Leuchtturm journaling notebook. So these I used a lot more over the years, and I actually have a whole library filled with those. Mm-hmm. But after the Outpost opened, I have been diversifying my notebooks.
And I'm glad for that. Thank you.
Yes, and so here, so I actually love the Outpost approach of Minds at Work, because I do feel like these notebooks are a lot more approachable to start writing in than the notebooks that I would typically gravitate to. So this is my current array of what I am working with. I have my fancy notebook, which is the Usari. It's actually my second one, because I failed the first one, which never happens. I usually abandon my notebooks halfway through. The first Usari I actually finished.
Nice.
Now I'm on my second one. And then I have these, what I call my...
Just quick question. Do you use fountain pen on that one, or just a regular, like a roller ball or ballpoint?
What do I use in this? This I think is a fountain pen.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
This
because
is,
they're famously used with fountain pens. Yeah.
Okay, so this is, I think, my Kaweko, which is, you would probably know better what the thickness on this is.
That is an AL Sport. Looks like a fine, but I'm far
Yes.
away from it.
I
Yeah.
think it is fine, and so it works really well with the Usari, because it is, if you use another pen that I have is Lamy, is that how you pronounce it?
AL Sport, yeah. That
Yeah.
looks like a metal one.
And these are a little bit more, I don't want to say bleeding, but they are a little bit more flowy, right? So they
Yeah.
don't work as well with the
They are,
Usaris.
if it's thicker, then they will
Yeah.
leave more ink, and then you have to give it time for it to
Yes.
dry. Yeah.
Yeah, and they write a little bit thicker, which I'm an already messy writer, and so
Okay. I really like when I have like thick lines. That's my approach. I'm not big on the fine lining. Yeah, but you're like on the fine.
yes, I feel like I used to be. I also discovered this pleasure. So this is a notebook that I get from here, which is the Clyde notes.
Yeah, this is tiny notes.
Yes,
Yeah.
these are tiny notes. So if you see at the texture, or not the texture, but the grid, the fineness of the grid, it actually inspired me to be a lot more tidy writer.
Nice.
Only in the beginning, because then we get into the middle one.
Okay.
It got a little bit more fast and loose.
Yeah.
And then my favorite notebook, which I'm working in right now, I feel like my ideas are expanding based on the paper
Size.
that I have to fill.
Okay.
So this Carta Pura I got here very recently, and I actually dedicated it to working on the profile of Santiago. And so it started out with, because this is my first profile that I'm writing, it started out with, how do you even approach a profile in an interview? And now I'm working through a lot of the thoughts in here. There's some drafts in here, some profiles that I like, that I found somewhere else that I'm learning from.
I love it.
So this is my magnum opus right now, is in Carta Pura.
I also keep one for the store. Like most of my store logs, by the way, are sitting on Carta Puras. Just so you understand what messiness looks like, my messiness is just like crazy personal messiness. I'm glad that you're using this in particular because they're fairly thin, and that means that you go through them. I'm not gonna say quickly, but you can go through them rather quickly if you wanted to get another type of notebook. So I don't feel like as precious with it.
That's what I found with this one. I think these two were my first thinner notebooks because usually you can see I gravitated to these Usari and the Shrum, which are a lot thicker. But that's also what I found is that it makes you less precious about it. And I feel like it also lets you molt through your ideas faster because you have this tiny body of work and then you move on to the next one. There's something philosophical about moving to a new notebook that I really like. And so when they're a little bit thinner, you see the evolution of yourself faster.
I love that. That's very cool. All right. Do you have anything else on your kit?
So my last one, so this is actually a funny story.
Man, this looks like an ad for the Outpost, but you know what? I'll take it. Yes.
Santiago and I are a part of a smaller group that plays D&D, and one time he was playing D&D at our house and he accidentally left this Mark's Day metal pen.
I accidentally left
this metal ball pen.
No, I did leave.
And so I put it in a drawer and I figured, okay, I'm just going to text him and tell him that he left it here. And it was sitting in my drawer and I was thinking, I can't just let it sit there without trying it. And so somewhere between just writing a Post-it note and maybe 2 pages in my notebook, I used it. And then this coincided with the time where I decided I have to stop spending money on stuff. I have to stop consuming so much. So I put it in my notes and said, okay, if I still think about this pen in a month, I can buy it. And I thought about it every single day that I was writing something. I was so disappointed with my daily drivers, which are these cheap Amazon Kakao pens, which are actually really great. They're super smooth. Up until this Mark's Day, these were the smoothest pens I've ever experienced. And so I caved in. I couldn't do it. I actually just went through the first the refill, which has never happened to me. I've never finished a pen.
Okay.
I'm on my second one.
That's very nice. That refill is Otto. The brand is called Otto, and it's a quick dry pen. And just one note on that is that, I mean, at the end, it's like you like the pen, so that's just the barrel. The refill is doing a lot of the heavy lifting there. You enjoy that a lot. So there might be even another shape of pen that you would enjoy holding. This I think is fine, by the way. I'm not saying that you wouldn't like this, but what I'm trying to say is that sometimes it's the refill more than the pen itself. So you just kind of keep getting the refill that you want.
That's very fair. That comes down to the smoothness of writing, but the pen is also heavy and metal, which just feels very nice in the hand.
Awesome. Cool. That's awesome stuff. Okay, Kamila, so thank you so much for sharing your kit of the week. This was super exciting. Thanks for bringing some of our products. I don't think the intention was to share so many Outpost products, but I'll take it. That sounds fun. So yeah, I'll hope to see you back again in the store, anytime. And as your writing evolves, then just to see more and more and more cool stuff coming from you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thanks for coming. Okay, so one of the items was the Mark's pen. Which I also like a lot. I think it's a great daily driver. It's kind of, you talked about weight.
Yes.
It has some heft to it, and the refill is actually from Otto. So you can get it at the store, but you can get it almost elsewhere. So it's kind of a good one. So yeah, we're running out of these actually. We're down to I think 4 colors. We used to have 8 colors. So we're like bit by bit, people are discarding these pens and just taking them away. It's going to be a while. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's going to be a while before we get colors back, but we're going to get some Otto pens, which we think people are liking how they write a lot. So we're going to get those Otto pens into the store as well.
Very cool.
Nice. Yeah.
Awesome. Next, let's talk about new items.
Whoa,
new items are hitting the shop.
So something we've been open in this storefront for about a month and a bit.
Yeah.
Close to a month and a half. And I mean, it's been a lot of fun. So one of the interesting things though is that we start to see how people are discovering new products and the reasons why. I try to talk to everybody, and I apologize if lines get long, and I try to chat with everybody that is purchasing at the store. But as I discover like the motivations they have for stationery, I've been finding some cool patterns. And I think one that I really love has been how things feel when you hold them. And that's something that I want to explore a little bit more. And when we talk about new products, I wanted to bring some of those. I had a couple of customer interactions that kind of illuminated me, I suppose, in that particular aspect. One was a customer that when he was trying to get a new pen, the first thing he did when he got the pen was to actually do this. Just grab the pen before writing and just like feel how it feels, and then also put the pen in the pocket. So those motions are not related to how it writes, but how it feels in your pocket,
Right.
and also how it feels when you hold it. And that was fascinating for me. And it's not the first time I've seen it, but it was kind of so clear when it happened. So it was about holding it. This customer bought a pen from Wingback. So this is one of the Wingback pens that we carry. This is called the Journeyman pen, and it was one of these models. Actually, I think it was the brass model. This is the steel model. But you can actually realize what it means when you hold something like this. Hey, hello. When you hold something like this, which means like you get the heft, you get kind of the idea, but also because it's full machine metal. What this means is that you kind of, like you have this thing, this kind of token that you can keep all the time with you, which is pretty fantastic, right? So this is the Journeyman pen if you want to show it there.
Whoa.
And I'll show you a couple of more things from Wingback that are related to this idea of heft and kind of the weight of things. The other one is the mechanical pen. This is in a brass version. Sometimes you want to fidget with your pen. You want to hold it and fidget. And this in particular has knurling at the top, and it opens and closes by just kind of moving.
Fancy.
And the mechanism, it feels quite nice, quite soft. And over time, because it gets your patina and it kind of gets your motion, then it feels more adapted to you, which I also find very nice to have. So this is another Wingback that we have, and this kind of twist mechanism, which is also in the Journeyman. It's quite interesting. Now, the last thing that I wanted to bring up from Wingback, our friends they are in the United Kingdom. So, like we're starting graduation season, Mother's Day, Father's Day. There's all of these kind of moments where people tend to give like a nice stationery gift to their significant kind of people, right? Children, parents. And going back to Wingback, one of the nice things that I found from them also is kind of first how they're packing their products. So I'm going to give an example.
Nice.
This is the packing of the product itself. When you open it, you realize that the product is coming in a little cork rest, so the product could already sit in your decks very nicely. This is the last product that I wanted to show from them because it's in the British Racing Green.
That color
Just love that color.
Amazing.
This is a fountain pen. I only have the one. If you want, you can reach out to me to see if you can get it. It's
And then
a
it posts on the
beautiful
back
looking
with
pen.
the screwing.
Yeah, this screws back, so you have a full pen,
That's cool.
and it's like a little rod like that. I just love how it looks, and the color is amazing in my opinion.
Yeah.
Again, back to that tactility and heft. Like when you have this fountain pen in your hand, you know you have it in your hand. When you have this little kind of bar of metal machined and manufactured in the UK, like you know you have it in your hand. So these are kind of part of that story of how things feel when you hold them, when you keep them. So kudos to Wingback for bringing in those, nifty products. Okay, the next product that I wanted to show, if I want to clear that up. Back to that tactility. This is not a new brand because we've carried this brand for a while at the shop. It's called Carta Pura, but two products that we received about a week and a half ago, and they're being quite successful. And they are the Tukbook. Tukbook, yeah. It's kind of a flexible linen book with Rivoli paper. Yeah. And it's just fantastic Rivoli paper. I think it's 90 GSM, so it kind of works well with fountain pens, and I think you had a chance to test it out, right? And
I did.
Kind
I
of
did
worked
both
really well.
writing samples. It performed the best out of all the papers I took home to test. It's really thick and substantial.
Yeah.
And I also did a swatch on it, like an ink swatch on it, and it didn't bleed through or anything. So
Fantastic.
It's pretty great.
So we have that one, and then we have the Tokyo notebook, and we have different styles. This is the dots style.
So it's called Tokyo.
Yeah.
But it's from
Carta Pura in Germany. So it's actually made in Munich, in Germany.
Got it.
Yeah. It also uses Rivoli paper, but the outside, I believe, is Chiyogami Japanese paper. Yeah. So this is a hardcover, but the hardcover is paper as well.
And I think the paper on these is a little bit thicker than this one. I think
yeah,
that's
maybe
120.
a 120. It might be a 120, but it could also, I think it's a 120. You're completely right. What I like about these, coming back to that tactility and how things feel, let's do a quick test. Let's see if it shows in the camera, is how it opens. And I'm always surprised because most of the bound books that I get, when I start to use them, they're quite rigid when you try to open them. Like you have to put quite an effort and you need to get a clip or something to keep them open. This one like takes opening up, it's way more flexible for that. And I find that for journalers or people who sketch, that making sure that your books can this one does not necessarily lay flat. So it's not a lay flat book, but it opens well. And I think that feel of how it opens, I think is just a valuable thing. The next and last item to bring up is our good friends from the UK. We're talking about the UK again. All right. It's called Sylvine. Sylvine. This is a 100-year-old brand of notebooks that you find this kind of red notebook a lot in the United Kingdom. They are bound in the back with this beautiful kind of blue color, so that's how you know they're a Sylvine notebook. And the lines are blue lines when it's ruled. We are bringing a few more models from Sylvine, the heritage, what they call editions. We have the memo book, and back in our shelves we have a bullet kind of a style, which I think is a dotted style for you to take notes, and a much bigger exercise notebook as well. So you start going to see a little bit more of Sylvine in the store. I think it works really well with fountain pens, at least for my fountain pens, but also they feel really well when you carry them, because there's this kind of take a beating style of notebook. They have the right price for that. So I appreciate having this type of notebook as well, right? So hardworking, write quick notes on type of notebook. So call out to Sylvine as well. In the new products, we have the 2 new larger models as well.
So what's next? So we just went over all the new items, and we actually also had an event recently, our first event at the store.
Yeah, let me take over the interview role, Joveth, because I want to interview you to talk about what happened.
Oh, sure.
Look at that, Santiago turns into host mode. 1 week ago.
Yes.
Not last weekend, but 1 weekend ago.
Yeah.
We hosted the members of the Seattle Pen Club into an open house. So we opened earlier for them and started the shop a little bit later, so they could kind of experience the shop and kind of interact and do a little bit of a pen club meetup.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So maybe you can tell us a little bit more about it and how it went, and kind of what kind of discoveries did you have from that experience?
Yeah, no, it was kind of a great event. So this happened before the store officially opened, actually before your ribbon cutting ceremony.
Yeah.
So it was like a preview event, and people weren't obligated to buy anything. It was just more of a come hang out, check out the different products we have, and talk to me and you. Yeah. But the cool thing is we had the stationery bar over here set up with all different kinds of notebooks and all the different kinds of pens, but they also brought their own fountain pens. Yeah. As you know, if you're in pen club, you have to kind of bring your pens. It's kind of one of the things that we do. The cool thing that I found was, as a paper nerd myself, and Santiago is too, I know all about like all the fountain pen friendly papers and notebooks, the typical ones, right? Like the MD, like the Life Pistachio, all that. But Santiago carries some interesting notebooks and brands that I had never heard of before working with him. So it was a great opportunity to introduce this club to like different kinds of new paper. Like we showed him this paper, the Carta Pura one, and people were just like impressed that it was so thick and it carried like fountain pen so well.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna move briefly as you go because I have the tester here.
Oh.
That wasn't the tester, that was another one to show. And it has your paper test, but I believe other folks were adding like little notes of their own, like their own
platinum
inks,
preppy,
platinums and platinums and
Esterbrook's, all that. The way the Diamond Black Ivy looked on it, it was a lot of fun. So just being able to discover this new paper that maybe people hadn't heard about was kind of fun because you get used to seeing the same things over and over again.
Yeah.
And then just like sharing each other's pens, right? Like that was fun too. Like I brought my own fountain pens, and people had a lot of fun checking those out.
Yeah.
You brought yours, but it was fun. So we got to exchange and look at different nibs and things like that. We had about 20 people here, which was more than we had expected, to be honest. And it was really fun just geeking out and trying all these different things.
What does this tell you about like future plans for like hosting people at the store? What's kind of your take on it?
So I think there's definitely a desire for people to kind of meet up over just like stationery, right? So like things like this, for example. Let's try out all the different papers with our fountain pens.
Yeah.
There's also things that we could do like, using different tools, different pens and papers to do things like sketching, right? Letter writing, like a bunch of different things that you could do as a group activity, journaling, scrapbooking, all that stuff.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and that's the thing that we discovered, and we're very excited about doing more of that. One thing, we start to get letters, and people have asked us about like letter writing tools, which obviously stationers, we have that, but we also want to provide the space for people to come in, maybe write some of their letters from here. So we know there's lots of different letter writing clubs.
Yeah.
If you're a member of a letter writing club, or you manage one, and you want to use the Outpost as a place to gather people together and kind of spend some time doing that, then we want to talk to you. That'll be an exciting thing to do. But as you're mentioning, sketching and journaling, the idea of this space is not only to kind of give you access to all these products and also to try them, but also to use the ones you already have. Just like come on over and spend some time. We record this in a setup that is already done for doing some analog work. So I'm gonna do a quick move here. This is at the window of the shop. This is where we record this. And this desk, this setup is already ready for you to just, come and use it. Spend some time, do some journaling. Like we'll be happy to have you here.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's going to be exciting coming up. Like organizing events and getting people in here just to build that community is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. We'll be announcing more and more of those because I think they're just fun gatherings, and we'll keep doing more of those.
Exactly.
We may need to get a liquor license. Maybe we'll do some wine and sketch.
That could be fun.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
Next thing, so unbeknownst to our viewers, I've been shadowing you at the shop and playing stationery myself.
You also got your chore jacket and
I
stuff.
got my chore jacket and everything. And the reason for that is because you're going to be out of town for a good, 10 days or so?
Well, more or less. I'll be out for a week.
Yeah.
So part of the, I think, fun, but also just a baseline part of the job of doing this type of retail is that you just need to go and discover new products for folks to come and try. And there are different channels for that to happen, right? There's some trade shows and there's some online shops and distributors that we have access to. But I think that a really powerful way of discovering new things is to actually go where people are high consumers of that product. And there are pretty much two places, actually there's more than that, but there are two that I tend to gravitate toward when I want to discover new things. One is London in the UK, the other is Japan, Tokyo, right?
Makes sense.
So in the next 2 months, we're going to have the trade shows for stationery in London and Tokyo happening. So next week, I'll be in London. There's going to be the UK stationery show. Those are not consumer oriented. They're not like pen shows or like, you don't buy anything other than make orders for shops, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then you get to discover what the different brands are doing, what their plans are. And many times you actually know what they're going to be doing for, I'll give you an example. You get to know what the top secret, like your Inkverse, the
Colorverse,
the editions are going to be.
Oh,
like you start to discover
gotcha.
what's going to happen, so you can make your orders. Or like I don't know, some specific planner manufacturer is going to show what they're going to release for 2027, things like that. So we're doing that for the UK, and then the month after the Tokyo, it's called Lifestyle Week. It's a big, massive show where there's a big stationery component. And if you watch stationery content online, sometimes you get to see a lot of stores and and people talking about like the top stationery awards and the top 5, whatever. They
Yeah.
usually come from that show. So some people vote in that show, and that's how you get the list of the top, whatever. So, just to see how Kurutoga wins their new mechanical pencil award of the year,
Right.
and things like
Well,
that.
I mean, they deserve it, but yes.
It's a really good mechanical pencil. Or the Zento also wins the...
Zento wins all the time, yeah.
So they keep winning all the time. So we're gonna be in that show, also kind of trying to, source cool, new, interesting things. The show is one anchor point, but the idea is to also visit maybe other possible suppliers that are not into that in the bigger industry, right? And if, with the kind of, let's call it the right connections, we can bring in some interesting products that are maybe off the beaten path, but very interesting for folks to come and try.
And you'll be Instagramming those, right?
Hopefully we can, yeah.
Thanks.
I'll try to record myself and like show, the videos and
Awesome.
what we discover. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So while he goes gallivanting around, I'm going to be here at the shop. So if you're in the Seattle area and you stop by, say hi.
Come and say hello. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
And that's it. That's a wrap. We
All
just
right.
finished up.
I think we did it.
Yep.
I think we're good. So always remember to think on paper, and I'll see you and Joveth as well on the next one.
Yep.
Awesome.
See y'all.
Oh, bye.